I'm jumping over to Studio King.
Fire it up. This episode of the Off-Road Podcast is sponsored by Warn, Power Tank, and Medical Gear Outfitters.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 280, Christmas Gift Exchange.
Tonight, Aaron doesn't have an air leak, Jeremy plans bigger, and Ben showcases that Toyota reliability.
I'm not hearing any music, Jeremy.
You're not hearing any music?
No.
What about now?
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, a podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. I'm your host, Ben, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Aaron and Jeremy.
Sorry, I just like that music so much. I thought I'd let it play for a little longer.
Yeah.
This week in review is brought to you by Medical Gear Outfitters. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting to have a casualty on the trail? Check out medicalgearoutfitters.com to get yourself straightened out. Medical Gear Outfitters has everything you need, whether you are going out for the day or traveling on a year-long expedition. Head over there to get off-road specific kits to meet all of your needs. And while you're there, make sure you use the code Off-Road Podcast. That's all one word. The O in Off-Road Podcast is capitalized, that first O, and you will get 10% off.
Well, Jeremy, it's that time of the week again. We need an axle update. Bump, bump, bump.
Yeah, so I got some really good news.
Tell us the good news before the axle update.
Well, it's kind of the axle update is the good news. The good news is that I'm at 99.44% saved towards the new axles.
I didn't even get a chance to guess.
Oh, I'm sorry. I showed you the spreadsheet the other day. That would have been cheating.
It would have been cheating.
But yeah, now the bad news, right? Well, I mean it's mixed news. So this build just got a whole lot bigger. So I thought, well, while I'm have to do drive shafts and while I have to do new wheels and all that stuff, I thought, why not just go to 40s now? So I talked to the wife, got her to agree. So the good news of that is that I am going to be on 40s by the time, at least probably within the next 6 months. The bad news is it's going to take a lot longer. I'm looking at getting back to 35. So I'll end up selling my wheels separate from my tires, mount the tires to the new wheels, throw on the new lift, and it's going to look a little goofy because it's going to be like a 5-inch lift with 35s. So it's going to be a lot of space in the wheel wells. Maybe I'll just take out all the bump stops and get some real good flex going. Who knows? And then from there, end up saving up for the 40s. So basically all I have to do after that is kind of the hydro assist and then actually getting the 40s. I think that's the only two things that'll be left on the list by that time. So you want to guess what the number is to running to 35s, Aaron?
Is that the next goal, since we just assumed that you're at the 100% for axles?
Yeah, I'll let you guess the other two. So running 35s and then the cost of running 40s.
Okay, so running 35s, I'm going to say you're 77%.
Close.
I'm going to go 83.
It's right in the middle of you guys. I'm at 80.11.
Oh, man.
Back to 35s.
And that's without cheating.
And that's without cheating. And then cost of 40s, what's your numbers? What do you guess?
What are you adding to get to 40s again?
A
Besides the
PSC
tires?
A PSC steering box with a new power steering pump, new reservoir, hydro assist, and then the tires.
75%.
I wish.
Yeah,
60?
I'm going to say 65.
So close. 66.3%.
Damn.
Yeah. So
It's a lot of
s-
money
But
for
I mean,
tires and
that is
hydro.
doing it right.
yeah, well, I mean the hydro is like 2.5K all by
Well,
itself.
Yeah.
you want to do it right, so that's what matters.
Yeah, I also have the number of getting on to 40s, but I'm definitely not wheeling at that number.
Yeah, yeah,
That's I can drive it to the mall.
yeah. There goes your axle or no, your steering box.
Yeah, I don't feel like breaking a sector shaft.
Yeah, I imagine your wife wouldn't be too happy. It should probably be about the length of mine right now.
It's a bad day on the trail when you break a sector shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what else is
Well,
a bad day?
Ben, what have you been up to?
do I have to go next?
Uh,
I mean, I can
well, I mean,
Sure.
it was a
Why don't-
perfect segue. We couldn't pass
It
up.
was a really good segue.
All right. So mine can be really long, but I'll probably make it really short. With some pictures. If you're watching, you get to see the pictures. If not, check out the show notes. I'll have them in there. But I've had what best I can describe was a very long weekend. I was planning on going camping, so I was ready for anything, right? I'm Mr. SAR. I'm this is the type of challenge I want, right? Not really. So we went wheeling. I was gonna go camping with some friends, and we instead of going out to Wilkeson, we went out to Greenwater because of the snow. So it was pretty fun until I hit a ditch, and
No. No.
yeah,
Ben,
You
hit a
hit a
ditch?
ditch.
I hit a ditch. And if you look at this picture, look at my driver's side wheel.
Yep, I
Oh,
can
yeah.
see.
Turned. Look at my passenger side wheel.
Yep, not turned.
Not turned.
This
Yeah.
is where
Call that pigeon towing.
just a quick good segue. This is where it pays dividends to come on and watch the show either on. It used to be just YouTube. You could watch the show, but now you can watch the show on Facebook and Twitch. So if you are looking at or listening to this episode as the recorded version and going, "What the heck are they talking about? I don't see anything." Well, that's because you got to go over to the video version and check it out and see what Ben's talking about. You get to see all the pictures.
Yeah. And so after figuring out what was all right, so I hit the ditch and I threw it into low gear to pull out of the ditch, and I got out of the ditch, no problem. And then there was a loud pop that was heard 2 vehicles ahead of me. Yeah,
That's never a good sound.
no, that's not a good sound. I broke a CV axle. So as you see with this picture, I had to camp for the night. And
You're
it
one
wasn't
of the few people I know that breaks while snow wheeling.
Yeah,
Snow
nobody
wheeling's like
breaks
the-
while snow wheeling.
It's
Well,
like the
so-
softest thing that could ever happen.
so I'll show you here. If you look at my axle or my lower control arm and all that, you'll notice my ball joint twisted, and you'll see the bottom half of the knuckle there sticking out. So the ball joint and the lower control arm pivot around that, and there's a that bolts to the spindle. Well, there's 2 bolts, and one of the bolts fell out. You might have heard about that happening a couple weeks ago, and I fixed that. Well, apparently, it's a common problem with that, and you're supposed to Loctite it, and Loctite is one-time use. One-time use. So I
Well,
didn't
everybody
Loctite
knows
it.
that.
I realized that, but I put it torque spec, and I expected it to stay at torque spec, right? Never expect what that's supposed to be. So yeah, it fell out while I was on the trail, worst possible time, and the wheel went back and pivoted, and it allowed enough room to lock up the axle and break the axle. So I was stuck. I had to camp out for the night. There I am. I'm camping. Everyone was bringing parts back the next day. Not a big deal. Well, as you see, I have a fire started. Well, within 10 minutes, that tarp was blown away, and that's about as far as I could see. That was taken a little. This picture's taken a little bit later on that night. Heavy snow and wind. So I enjoyed my fire from my driver's side seat. I ended up staying the night. Next day, a bunch of friends showed up, and we got to work on fixing stuff. We had to weld some stuff together because we didn't get the right bolt, and that's what it is. It's an extension drilled through the spindle with a socket welded on to hold it together and to get me off the trail.
Did Ray Charles do that?
Well, you've got so the spindle's cast and the socket and the extension are chrome, and it's
Mhm.
in the snow. We used a torch to heat it up, but I mean, you can only get it so hot out there in that.
Yep.
So I mean, it worked. I drove it around the shop today. I went to work today. Fortunately enough, my boss went with me wheeling, and a few friends, so I was not without company. Yeah, it was pretty interesting, to say the least. I got off the mountain. My buddy Brett, who went with us, or came up to help recover me in his XJ, he had this loud knocking noise. And as he was leaving, going home, um, he was almost off of Forest Road 77 or Forest Road 70. His engine gave the ghost, and he blew his
Oof.
engine. It literally shredded a hole through his oil pan. Yeah, he needs a new engine, so he's gonna start
Knock,
an
knock.
OnlyFans for
Who's
that.
there?
Hey, he helped get me off. We're both talking about getting OnlyFans for our rigs, just so we can afford it.
Oh, come on, man. Your rig doesn't cost anything compared to mine right now.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. So yeah, I mean that was my weekend. I mean, I could spend a lot more time talking about it. All I can say is, thank goodness I had a new 0 degree bag. I was prepared to camp out. I couldn't camp out on the hill I was on because it was too slanted and not good for my tent. Deploying it upwards. I didn't want to break that too, so I just slept in my Forerunner. Oh,
Mac, hold on. Mac has a really good question. Why didn't Aaron or Jeremy come to save you?
all right. So I told Sarah when she was leaving, my boss Sarah. I said, "Hey, tell Sarah, my Sarah, to tell Sarah or to contact."
This is
Aaron
getting
Travick."
confusing.
This
All
is
right.
getting confusing.
I told my
You tell
boss,
boss.
told
You
my
tell your
my
wife.
wife to contact Aaron Kravick because she's friends with him on Facebook too, and he would help send out the cavalry. Obviously, that didn't happen. So,
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. So we heard about it on Facebook because your wife posted. Ben is what was the post again? It was
you all better roast Ben.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it was. Ben's in
Something
for a
like that.
roasting, and we're like, "What are you talking about? What happened?" And we're all in our little trip planning group, and we're all trying to figure out what the heck's gone wrong with Ben, and
Yeah.
nobody can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No info.
no
So
info.
there's one more part of the story that I want to share here. Can you tell
Oh,
us a little bit about this guy?
yes. So we're coming off the mountain. And literally we pull up to this and we see this semi truck. Chinook Pass is closed. That's 410 going up over the Cascade Mountains to the other side. They close 410, and we come across this semi truck halfway slid off the road trying to come up Pyramid Pass. He got Googled. The best I can describe it
Yeah.
is he got Googled. Um, Luckily, and when I saw that semi, I was like, "Oh no, this is going to stop me from getting home now." Here's another night on the pass because I'm not leaving. So that's I should add. This is why I did not stay on the pass because, or I stayed in my rig. I did not want my rig getting stripped down and burned and all the
Oh
other
yeah,
stuff that happens when you leave stuff on the trail.
no,
I,
never leave your rig on the trail.
I've spent too much time and money and energy that I sent my son home, who was with me, home with my boss, and that's what I come across on my way down. Fortunately enough, there was enough room for me to squeeze by and everyone else that was with me. Unfortunately, there was about 4 or 5 guys with sled trailers, snowmobile trailers, and they're quite wide. And I don't know if they were going to make it around him. So they
Yep.
might have been the same.
Yeah,
and
so-
that guy probably lost his job.
So for those people who can't see this picture,
It's a semi-truck
it's a
on a
full
Forest Service
full size. It's a full size Kenworth or Peterbilt. I think it's Kenworth, and he's got a 48-foot dry van that he's pulling. And even if it was summertime and zero rain and it's been dry for 3 months, you would never drive a semi truck over this road over Pyramid Pass.
No. He got Googled hard.
Yeah.
He got Googled so
That-
hard.
That may be worse than Eric on the Christmas Valley trip. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Aaron, can you top that weekend?
It looks like we might have some new followers on Twitch here.
Yeah,
Have you
I
seen
don't
the-
know.
Oh,
What
have you seen the comments here? Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Oh, I should add. So far that I've tallied for what I have to repair is I have to replace my spindle, the knuckle, the bolts for that, and a brake line.
Didn't you just replace the knuckles?
That spindle on my driver's side, well, that one got drilled through, so I have to replace that one again.
Yeah, but I mean, you're replacing parts you already replaced.
It's the same side I bent. I mean,
You just have bad luck.
yeah, and it's what 1 year. It's been like 1 year since I did. Yeah.
Yep.
There's Brett commenting that I broke
Yep.
his Jeep.
Yeah. Ben broke Brett's Jeep.
Hey, I
Hashtag.
can help locate an engine for you, Brett. I can help you, buddy.
Just take Ben's.
It's Toyota reliable.
Yeah, maybe he'll just
That's
sell
a good
it.
point. You don't want Ben's reliability.
So Mac Mac just says, and is it just cheaper to replace the Forerunner? I'm kind of in agreement here.
Yeah, and Rick wants to know what the total cost is. So Mac followed it up with it sounds like it's totaled.
Yeah, don't tell your
I don't know.
insurance
I'm
company.
under 300 so far from what I can figure. So I got quoted for the knuckle today, and they wanted 192, and I said I'd go look through junkyards before I'd pay that.
I thought you went with a nice aftermarket one.
Knuckle? No.
Yeah.
The one I got was from the junkyard.
Oh,
I think
just
you're
the
thinking of
spindle
his.
portion.
oh, his control arms. I'm sorry.
Oh, my upper control arm. Yeah, so my
Yeah.
control arms are fine. I replaced the spindle. The spindle's what I broke last time when we were in
Ooh.
Natchez Trail and I bent it.
Yes.
Josh Josh Wallace says hashtag part out. I could use some of your parts.
No, Josh. I could use some of your part. Oh, brother.
That somebody's saying they're ready to push it off a cliff.
Yeah, Jamie was with me. She was ready to push it. She so on our way back, she slipped on some ice and her rear end of her truck almost went over a cliff. Like she spun
Man, Ben.
90 degrees. Yeah, it was a rough weekend.
I'm not going snow wheeling with you in my rig.
Yeah, I'm like, there's just this aura around Ben and his vehicle. Rigs blowing up, people driving off cliffs.
It's the time of the year. We need to make sure we make a mental note. Never wheel with Ben in November.
No wheel
below
November.
3,000 feet.
Hashtag no wheel November.
No wheel November.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you're going to be able to get your rig fixed fast enough for the Christmas tree run that we're supposed to have, or if that Christmas tree run is just going to get turned into a February snow run.
I think it's going to get turned into a February snow run, unfortunately. Yeah, it's going to be.
Wait, a February Christmas tree run?
Could be just planning early.
There we go. Apparently, I take my Toyota and try to do Jeep things.
Yep.
Yep.
Sounds about right. Although he runs it into a ditch, so I don't really think that's a Jeep thing either.
I'm the Ditch King.
Yep. Hashtag
Is it
Ditch
official?
King.
Do I need like a trucker hat that says Ditch King?
At least a bumper sticker.
Possibly.
Bumper sticker. Yeah. We'll see. Well, Aaron,
Hey,
what's new?
Well, Josh says that he is taking his steering knuckles off soon. He might have some parts for you.
There we go.
Have to get in contact with him. Well, what's new with me? I haven't done much bought a tractor for the farm. I'm super excited. It's 4-wheel drive this time. I shouldn't be getting it stuck in the mud like the last tractor. And then I forgot all about it twice, but on the Nevada trip that we did back in August, my ARB compressor was acting up, and it was the sensor, so I had to like jump her across the sensor to air my tires up. I forgot all about it not working, and on my last Nevada trip, I remembered when I was trying to air my tires up that I had to jump her across it, and so I contacted ARB, said, "Hey, can you get me the part number so I know what part to order?" And they just said, "Well, send us your information, and we'll just warranty it out for you." So I did, and like in 4 days, they mailed me a new part, and I just need to go swap it out. Should be really quick. It's just threaded into the little manifold there with 2 electric. Oh boy, I do electrical work and I can't think of these spade connectors. Sorry, the female end of a spade connector that just plugs onto the sensor. So should be a fast one. Who knows when I'll get to it? Maybe next year. Maybe I'll just throw it in my cup holder so that way next time I'm wheeling, I'll just bust my tools out while I'm wheeling to fix the truck.
There we go.
So. The next time you're waiting for Ben to fix something.
Yeah. Ouch.
I feel I'm going to be the butt of a joke for a few episodes here.
You mean you're going to become the butt of the joke again, right?
Yeah. We've been
talking. You were already the butt of the joke for breaking stuff.
Yeah, except for you and your broken axle. So.
Yeah, but at least I'm getting 40s out of it. You're just replacing parts with the same parts.
Oh, I'm using this as a chance to work on my front end, so I may be doing.
How many chances do you need?
Well,
third time's a charm is what I keep seeing.
Stuff is already going to be disassembled, so I can do my body mount and chop that I need for 35. So
I don't think you need to disassemble much for that. Like literally, just take the tire off.
Well, and I have those shocks that I need to install.
Fine.
Hey guys, we're looking to reach more listeners. We're going to start reading Apple iTunes reviews on air. If you hear yours, send us a message with your address, and we'll send you an Off-Road Podcast sticker. You can find all of our social media by just searching our name. Now, go hit that subscribe button.
Sorry, I kind of cut you off. Do you have the last nickel?
I was just going to ask. Yeah, where is your truck right now?
It's at work.
4Runner.
It's at work. So I got down to the bottom of the mountain, and my boss's truck was there with a trailer, and he took it to the shop and dropped it off. And then I was there today working on it, assessing the damage.
He's going to start charging you for shop space if you aren't careful.
Yeah. Probably will.
We got another comment. We got another comment here from Brett. It says, "At least Ben helps us fix his instead of standing back and watching." I made the comment before we went live that in all the pictures I saw, I didn't even see Ben in any of the pictures.
Well,
so
if you look,
I guess someone is standing up for Ben.
Over us. If you see a tarp over us, it's probably either me holding the tarp or someone else holding the tarp and me under there working, because it was snowing on us.
Yeah.
And Josh doesn't think the chop will be enough for 35s.
With the right wheel back spacing, it will be.
Also, Ben, I just want to throw this out there. Ben breaks stuff on 33s. What do you think is going to happen when he's on 35s?
There's more defense for me.
He was laying down under the tarp. That sounds more like it.
Taking a nap.
He was using almost all the no words.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, on fire today.
Yeah, they are. We want to thank Patriot Patch for being one of our great sponsors forever. They've got awesome patches and shirts and signs and gun cleaning mats, all kinds of stuff. They've also got the Patch of the Month Club. The most recent patch of the month, it's November, so you get 2 patches. You always get 2 in November. One of them is the Tactical Tom. It's a turkey with some firepower, and there we go. There's Tactical Tom. He looks like got a RPG. and the other one is the Doorbuster, which has got a door falling off the hinges, and it looks like
Doorbuster
a
deal.
is that a Barrett, bullpup Barrett maybe, and a
No.
shoddy? I think that is a
It
bullpup
does look
Barrett.
like a bullpup Barrett, or at
Yeah.
least a bullpup 50 cal. Which probably explains those big holes in the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
So check out Patriot Patch. Christmas patches are always a hit. Those will be they'll probably talk about those any day now for what the patch is going to be for next month. So make sure you go check them out.
The news is brought to you by PowerTank, the ultimate mobile onboard air system for performance, versatility, and reliability. They are your source for all air-related accessories. Check them out at powertank.com.
Well, our first story here is the 2021 Ram 2500 75th anniversary Power Wagon. Some highlights for it: LED headlights, black trim, black 75th anniversary badge, unique throwback grille, 750 watt 17 speaker system, 17, holy moly,
That's
beadlock
a lot of speakers.
that is beadlock capable wheels with 33-inch tires, brown leather seats, off-road pages that display ride height, pitch, and auxiliary gauges.
Yeah, so the off-road pages is on the I think it's a 12-inch screen in the dash, and when you go to the off-road pages page, I guess,
Oh, it's got
it'll
like
show.
the Tesla. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It'll show like it shows. I mean, like back in the day, you could get those 3-gauge cluster things that goes on your dash that shows your roll and your altimeter and your compass and stuff like that. I'm sure it's similar to that, plus whatever is in the auxiliary gauges, maybe like trans temp and
Yeah.
who knows what.
Tire pressure,
So
maybe.
yeah, it does display tire pressure. So I've got a customer. He's got a 2019 Ram that's loaded, and it's got that same head unit that they have in that one, like the Tesla size one, and that thing's pretty snazzy. I mean, you control like your seat and your AC, like your seat heater and your AC and all that. All of that
Mm-hmm.
is on there. Climameter. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Phenom-
think he's trying to in clinometer, so it tells you your the angle you're going up and down. Yeah, I as you guys know, I've kind of been a fan of the Power Wagons over the past couple years. I just think it's just a very capable off-road truck. So for the people that don't know, the Power Wagon, it's like a Jeep on steroids as far as size goes. It's got or I should say a Rubicon on steroids. It's got front and rear lockers. It's got the front sway bar disconnect. It's got a factory winch. It might be the only vehicle that I know of that you get a winch from the factory, not as like an option that you can have store put on for you, but something that comes out of the factory with a winch.
Yeah, and it's if I remember correctly, it's one of 2 winches that Warren has where it spools the other way from the top and not the bottom, if I remember correctly.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I remember Andy.
It has a special rear suspension on it. It's not a typical Dodge Ram 2500 rear end. It's extra flexy, so it actually drops the payload down below what a 3/4 ton truck is, but it still is a very high payload for what it is. And so just a really sweet rig. It comes with under vehicle body armor. I think it comes with rock rails. So just a ready to go off-road rig. Tough taking it in tight areas, obviously, because it's a big truck. It's a full-size truck. It's definitely going to be long, but I don't know. Just they got a sweet spot in my heart. And they fill a totally different role than the Raptor, which I think the Raptor is really cool too.
Yeah, the Raptor's a lot more Baja, and the Power Wagons, I don't know, more like heavy duty trail.
Yeah,
Is
more
what this might
crawling
be.
than the Raptor for sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the beadlock capable wheels? I think that's pretty cool,
So
also from the
I
factory.
want to say the Raptor. That's an option you can get where it has the fake beadlock ring, and then you can upgrade it through the factory or through Ford. You can get the ring to change it to an actual beadlock, and I think that's pretty awesome. That Dodge followed that. I wish they would do that with the Jeeps. Um, being as Fiat, Chrysler, whatever the heck they are all one company still, I think. Or is it owned by the
Somehow,
Chinese now?
no, it's still owned by Fiat. Yeah. Um, yeah. Anyways, cool. It's and the grill has vertical slots in it as a throwback to the original Power Wagon from way back in the day. So
Nice.
it, I, I'm not totally set on the grill. I'm not sure. Maybe it'd grow on me if someone bought one for me. I should let my wife know I'm in the market for Christmas or something. I don't know, but it's just I don't know. It's cool. It's a good looking truck, and I like the color that it's displayed in as well in these photos.
That black is it black or is it like a gray?
No, it's like a dark gray, almost like a clay color, like a gray clay. So
Concrete? Yeah, concrete. That so Toyota had a color like that and they called it like
yeah,
concrete. And I seen actually today I saw a Jeep truck with the same color. Um
hmm,
and it's really nice with the black accents. The JT has it with some red in it too. Because I think the guy oh yeah, this has it too. Yeah, which is pretty much that same color. It's an awesome color.
yep. A lot of people say a lot of people say they are upset that Dodge won't do the diesel for the Power Wagon because they just hashtag diesel. But
Yeah.
they can't because the winch is where the intercooler would be. And honestly, today's gas trucks have so much power and so much torque that they almost negate a diesel for most stuff.
Well, and we
Unless you're
saw with
towing
the
all the time.
we've seen with the numbers with like the Jeeps what the 2.0 is it the 2.0 twin turbo? You get like the same almost the same power as the diesel and the
Yeah.
same fuel economy and you don't need DEF.
Yep. Anyways, it's a cool looking rig. It's got a sweet looking interior. I like the rocker switches. So, anyways, just kind of drooling. We got another news story here. Yakima rack for your Yakima rack. Have you guys clicked this link?
I have.
I have to. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a double decker hitch rack. I mean, it's cool, but to me, it's just hilarious.
Well, I just want to know how flighty that makes your steering.
By stacking up all the things.
Yes.
Well, technically, most things you can put like a 200-pound tongue weight on a hitch on most small rigs. It might be as little as 100, but that's going to be a really small car. So 200 pounds, that's quite a bit of weight if you think about it. I don't know how much this basket system weighs. If the basket system weighs 60 pounds, then you can get 140 pounds worth of weight in there. But I don't know.
It's a good way to organize everything, I guess.
If you're running out of space inside,
Get a trailer or get a bigger vehicle.
well, I mean, think of
My rack for
not
my
having
rack.
to take a trailer somewhere.
I hate hanging things off the back of the rig like that because it just ends up. I mean, it definitely changes the way your vehicle is going to handle.
So will a trailer, though, right?
I would say that this would have a bigger
If you
effect.
if you had 200 pounds of tongue weight from a trailer or 200 pounds of weight from a hitch basket.
I don't know. I just I don't think I think people are going to overload it, and then
Of course.
it. I mean, they're already going to overload it. You already know that. Like I
Uh-huh.
see people with like huge ice chests hanging off the back of their vehicle like that, full of ice, and it's like, man, I load up my cooler and it's like, you know, at least 50 pounds alone.
Yep.
I don't know.
I want to know, because I don't see it in any of these pictures that they share.
How you open the
How
back?
do you open the back? Does it just
Don't.
tilt down?
Maybe it
Because
swings
I
out.
didn't.
I don't think you open it.
Oh, so it says it has articulating arms that allow the system to swing free of the rear, allowing access to the rear hatch. So they swing like a tire carrier,
Mm,
swings off to one side.
functional.
Sure. Go with functional.
Yeah.
It's an interesting system. We'll just say that.
Go.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. You sounded like you were
I don't
going to
need
say
that.
something.
I don't need that last word.
Okay.
Paired with Warren Industries. They produced the first recreational winch in 1959 and lead the industry with their dedication to quality and reliability. When you dig yourself in deep, make sure you have the right tools to get yourself out. Get Warren equipped and go where others can't. Now, let's get ready for adventure and head into our main topic.
Oh boy, it's that time of year again, guys.
Oh, my favorite episode of the year. I look forward to this one every single year.
Yep. And you
Yeah,
know,
me too.
we're doing it similar to last year where we're giving each other gifts, but we also have some ideas for ourselves.
Yeah, we're listing what we're getting what we want on our list, and then also doing a theoretical gift exchange. I wish the guys in the front office gave us enough money to go ahead and do this for real.
Yeah. That'd be nice if the boss did that.
We could drop them a line, drop them a note.
No, I already asked. They threw me out of the
Oh.
office.
Did they threaten to cut your pay?
Yeah, they threatened to have it. I mean, geez, how am I going to afford these axles
I
now?
figured they threw you out the window like they did me. I figured they threw you out the window like they did me. Geez, you got off lucky.
So Ben, we'll start with you and go ahead and tell us what's on your one thing that's on your list, and then we'll rotate down to Aaron, and then I'll go last on this one.
All right. So my first one here, it's something that's been on my Amazon list for quite a while. I found these guys on a YouTube video, I think it was. They're called grip ties. They're sort of like zip ties, but they've got like a rubbery zipper or rubbery compound along the inside. So it's kind of like your zip tie on steroids, kind of to help grip things and keep them in place. They're a little spendy at $20 for a pack of 40, I think it is. So I mean, it's a fancy zip tie is what it is, but I mean, when you want to keep stuff in place, I mean, why not have the best thing to keep it in place?
A normal zip tie.
Well, sometimes zip ties slip or slide, so
They slip
that's
and they rotate
kind of a
around.
cool topic.
Yeah,
It's gonna hold it in place, meaning it's not gonna rotate around it or anything. I mean,
Mhm.
would I ever use it for a lot of things? Probably not. But there's a few times I've been like on my roof rack where I use some zip ties. It would have been nice to use one zip tie instead of I think I used like 7, or maybe it was.
That's-
Yeah.
Don't ask.
yeah. That's what the conclusion of. All right, Aaron.
Well-
what's your first item?
Yeah, so for my $0 to $49 spot here, I need a new fixed blade knife. Maybe I don't need one. I've probably got plenty, but I'm just kind of been craving for something like a field craft type knife, a bushcraft knife. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research on it. It's just kind of been in the back of my head. If someone did research and bought me a knife, that would be cool. Then I wouldn't have to do any of that stuff. But just thinking about getting some sort of fixed blade knife. I keep one in my truck. There's one with my get home bag.
You've got
One in
the
my
what's it, the
nightstand.
Swedish Svetka. I can't think of the name. Starts with like an S something knife. That's a fixed blade. It's like $10 knife, but it's sharp, super sharp.
The Mora knife.
More knife. There we go.
Yeah, Jeremy has one too, because he went to Central Oregon with us. That you didn't go.
Bad. Never gonna.
I handed out knives to everybody that went on that trip.
Yeah, they said Nevada on them though.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Maybe we'll do another Nevada trip and I'll hand out Oregon knives.
How many times are you going to go to Nevada, man?
Yeah, actually, we didn't talk about that, but maybe the next episode.
It may be. Well, my first item on the list is getting a cat tourniquet because I don't have any tourniquets currently, which is one thing that I definitely need to add to my medical kit. So I need to run over to Medical Gear Outfitters and use the coupon code. It's $30 for a cat tourniquet, but if you use the coupon code, it'd be $27.
Yep. And not just any cat tourniquet, but it is the North American Rescue Gen 7. It is not a knockoff. It is the latest version. It is the one to get.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, my next item here is the CH 4x4 switch. So I want to do some actually wired switches inside my 4Runner instead of just the wireless ones that I have. That way there's no extra buttons to worry or extra wire or crap to worry about because wireless stuff not always functioning properly. I want to be able to like hit a button and there's my ditch lights. You know, I've got my box is pretty real. Yeah.
If only your ditch lights would have been on, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, you know, maybe that's a thing. Maybe I should just start turning on my ditch lights. It might help me. Probably not. So yeah, I mean it's $20, but they have like, you know, Sasquatch lights or ditch lights or alien or FU beams or what, you know, just they actually do a factory looking switch that fits my 4Runner. It literally slides into the factory position. I know some vehicles it's a pain in the butt for. Some vehicles you can use like standard rockers. Don't have that option. So there we go.
So you're the first person I've ever heard say that they aren't a fan or want to go backwards from wireless to an actual rocker style switch. I find that interesting.
So I've had a problem with my wireless box, and I probably just need to call the company and see about getting a new one or upgrading to their newer version. But I don't have it wired exactly properly, so that when my vehicle's off, sometimes lights will come on their own. I've come out because it's radio frequency, so it could be my remote or I don't know what, but it's turning on like my all my orange flashy lights will turn on their own. And I'm like, what's that flashing light outside the window? And there's my 4Runner all lit up. And it's like, oh, well, so I just unplugged it.
Can you password protect it so that doesn't happen, or the radio frequencies still can turn it on?
The radio frequencies can still turn on. So who knows?
You like that? That's
yeah. Well, so
Eric says, wait, the wireless box is wired incorrectly?
So you have a third wire. So you have your positive, your negative, and then you have a yellow wire that you tap into a fuse, a powered fuse. So when it's powered, the truck's on, it's on. Well, I just have it onto my horn one. So it's always got power, an always on fuse. So I just need to tap it right.
He honks his horn and all the lights go off. There's your problem.
But yeah, so but it would be nice to have just some that aren't. I have to rely on extra equipment.
Yeah. And I've never used one of those wireless boxes or anything, but I do love the feel of my rocker switches. Like
Mhm.
I'm driving around, my headlights really suck. They're going to get replaced soon.
Mine too.
But so I drive around with my LED auxiliary lights on, and then when a car comes, it's pretty important to turn them off so that I don't turn them into an albino person from how much light they put out. But it's easy. Like I don't have to look down. I can feel my rocker switches, and bam, it's on or it's off. I know which position it is. I know which rocker switch it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2, 3, 4. I've got like five spots for buttons. So it's like, why not use them?
Yeah. Well, my next thing on the list here, we're gonna have to pick up the pace. We're running long. Is a Moab Trail Guidebook. Now, this was in Ben's category last year, and I don't know if he got a book or not, but
I
I'm
actually
putting it
have
on my list for this year. Yeah. Oh, nice. So, I got propositioned over the weekend to go on a big trip to Idaho, then down to Colorado, and out to Moab. So,
how long
you
of a
guys
trip is
are
that?
like 11 days.
Nice.
So,
We're not
yeah,
invited, though.
not
Sorry,
yet.
Trent.
So, yeah, I might need a trail guide book for a Moab trip that is in the works for August.
Nice.
Black Bear Pass, here I come.
Oh yeah, just don't go rolling down it.
Yep.
Check your e-brake.
So jumping right into mine. So my last one is since I'm getting the new wheels, I thought, well, it'd be a good time to get some Colby valve permanent valve stems. So that's on my list for this year.
Solid investment. I love mine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, just like last year, we're going to do a gift exchange. So we're going to pick something out for someone here. And Ben randomly drew Jeremy's name.
So
What do you
Jeremy,
got for Jeremy?
you are getting a magnetic beer koozie. Because while you're,
Magnetic jacuzzi.
yep. So while you're working on your Jeep, you know, you can like slap that beer up there on the hood and it won't fall off. And because you're gonna need a drink when you go to you bust your knuckle or something tightening.
I like it.
I love that it's from a Nissan website also.
Is
Don't
it
you
from
like
a
that?
Nissan website?
Yeah, Off-Road Gorilla is a Nissan website.
That's probably why I haven't heard of it.
So Nitro has some of their in their like swag stuff I've seen before. There's a few companies that have them and they're good magnets. They're super strong. So
Yeah, I mean, if it's holding a glass beer bottle full of beer attached to the side vertical surface, yeah. Well, for Ben, I've got him some fire starting putty. It's a little survival thing he can keep in his truck for when he has to stay overnight somewhere. Maybe start a campfire to keep warm.
because that never
and some fire
happens.
starting putty.
I've actually had this putty in my my cart for a while. It's some interesting stuff. And good choice on the winter one, you know, because
Yeah. I don't think it's edible. I don't think it gives you like fresh breath because it's the winter version, but
it's not winter
maybe.
fresh.
It's probably a little oily.
Probably a little oily. Well, for Aaron, I got him a wool blanket. It's
There
a
we go.
pretty sweet one. I'm trying to open up the link. Yeah. Anyways, it's just a military wool blanket. And it's pretty large. I mean, it's like 64 inches by 88 inches, so you'll be able to wrap up and get a little extra warmth.
And not cuddle with
Yeah,
his wife.
I love wool blankets. I have a dilapidated one that I got from my uncle way back when I was probably like 13 or something. And it's a legit military one, but it's got holes in it. I don't know if it's from battery acid or from moths or something, but yeah, it'd be nice to get a new wool blanket. Thanks, Jeremy.
And so now I guess it's time to jump into our $50 to $200 price range, essentially $199. So Aaron, we'll let you go first on this one.
All right, I'm gonna do both of mine, so maybe we can blast through these a little faster. So
That's a good
I need
idea.
I need a water heater set up for my camp trailer. Have you guys seen those propane ones? And they got a couple AA batteries in them,
Yeah.
and
Like
so the
instant
trick
heat
behind
ones?
this. What's that, Ben?
Is it like the instant heat ones, or is this like just a
Yeah.
heater?
Instant heat, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The problem with this though is it requires water pressure, but at some point I'd have a tank and a pump, so the pump provides the pressure, then I'll be good to go.
Nice.
The other thing is our kids are getting bigger. My wife and I are tired of sleeping with our kids in the rooftop tent. We put one of them down in the annex on a cot. I think I want to get a set of bunk beds that will go in the cot. And there's a company that makes bunk bed cots called Disco Bed. I've seen them in Cabela's a lot and stuff like that. So I'm going to check those out.
Yeah,
Those-
that's a great
those
idea.
are fancy. I've had my eye on those for my boys too. Wonder if they make a try size.
So, Aaron, why don't you do your gift exchange one as well?
Okay. So I got Jeremy, rolled the dice, got Jeremy, and I'm going to get him some Hibiki Japanese Harmony whiskey.
That's
Do
some
you know
good
anything
stuff.
about that? Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Did I pick
Oh, yeah.
pick a good one?
Yes, you did.
I don't
I
know
love
anything.
Hibiki.
I don't know anything about whiskey or alcohol for that matter. I could talk about root beer though, but yeah. So I did some Googling and looking, and I thought this would be a good one for Jeremy. So ready to go.
You know what's funny is I think I have just probably 2 more shots left in a bottle in my liquor cabinet right now.
2 more shots is just one shot, right?
Sure.
Just one big gulp.
How many
Well,
fingers? Right.
When you get a new bottle, I mean, you got to finish the old bottle. You got to make room.
That's right. Just polish it up.
Yeah. So one shot. So
Says it's available in Washington.
yes, it is.
Yep.
Although you might want to buy it in Oregon and then drive it up here. Probably be cheaper. So I'll go next on this one. So my first thing that I'm looking for, again with the new wheels, and going 40s, is I'm looking at some monster valves. I definitely want to pick up a set. So if you're not familiar with these,
Who makes those?
Power Tank.
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with these, it's a new valve stem that you add to your rim. So you actually have to drill it out and tap the hole, and then you install this this extra valve, and it's just a high flow valve, so you can actually air down with it. So it's got a outer ring on it that has some holes drilled in the stem. And it's threaded all on the outside. So you twist the outer ring up to expose the holes, and it just dumps a ton of air. And then they have the monster chuck, and so it's just a high flow valve filling or tire filling connector. That's the best word I have off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
And you can chuck. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so when we were out wheeling with Steven Tyler from Power Tank at last year's Northwest Overland Rally, I mean, it was amazing at how fast he could fill his 40-inch tires with his Power Tank and his monster valves. I mean, it was like 20 seconds to fill a 40-inch tire from like 15 to 30. It was just nuts.
Yeah, it was stupid fast and pretty awesome.
Yeah. They don't recommend them for anything under 35s. I don't even think they recommend them for 35s. I think they recommend them for bigger, because it dumps air so fast that they have problems with people just dumping all the air out of the tires and never being able to actually hit their air down pressure.
Can you imagine that being like,
whoops, went right past.
Air down.
Went down to 0. What? I overshot it a bit. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking at those for the new wheels, and kind of mine is really themed with my current build at the moment. But the other thing on my list is a ARB compressor manifold. So I'm going ARB lockers. I already have the ARB dual compressor up in the engine compartment on that metal cloak on the metal cloak mount. So I need to add a manifold so I can run the lockers.
So yours doesn't have a manifold on it?
No, so the dual does not. The single does have a. Because the single is kind of meant more for. It's not really meant for filling tires. I think it's more meant for running lockers.
No, there's a
tires off
size. No, there's a size below the single that's made for lockers. So they make 3.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, if you
Not
want
including the suitcase version of the twin.
Yeah, that is a fair point. So yeah, no, I need to add a manifold. So that's something that's on my list. Fit right into that $50 to $199 price range. And for Ben, there's a pretty awesome thermal blanket in this. So I thought he needed it for when he gets stuck out in the snow. But it's the Medical Gear Outfitters Overlander First Aid Kit. And it's only $117 when you use the coupon code Offroad Podcast. We won't go into it too much because next week we're actually going to have Skinny Medic on to do a in-depth look at all the kits, the 2 kits that we designed with his help. So we'll just leave it there, and it'll be a good teaser for next week.
Yeah.
Well, so my next thing here, so I'm up here next, and we've got the big buddy heater hose and barbecue propane tank. I broke my Mr. Buddy heater on accident. It fell off the top shelf of my storage stuff. So boom.
Lots of breaking stuff. Lots of keeping warm for Ben.
Yeah, I'm just it seems to be the story of my life is breaking stuff. So yeah, I figure why not go with a bigger buddy heater. And then
the nice thing about that, it's the one I have, and it's got the heater built in. I was talking about Jeremy pre-show because he's fiddle farting around with his buddy heater right now, blowing down at his legs, and it's nice because the radiant heaters, the heat just goes like straight up out of them for the most part. Unless you're sitting super close, the heat just goes straight up. So if you have that fan built into it, it pushes the air around.
Yeah, which is definitely a nice thing. And then so my next item here is some EBC brake pads. They're orange stuff, so you might be familiar with their yellow stuff or their yellow stuff brakes, I think it is, and their green stuff brakes.
They got green and red. I've not heard of orange.
So orange is their actually off-road oriented ones.
Ditch rated.
And I think they might be ditch rated. They might just help me stop before I hit that ditch. So
I hear they're good for braking too.
Yeah, they're good for stopping.
No, braking.
No, braking.
So yeah, I've been looking at them. They're a little pricey though. I mean, we're looking at the what is this? The 50 to 199. I want to say they're like 190 just for the front, so it's the rears.
Wow.
Retail. Yeah.
So you're only going to stop half as well.
Yep. So, yeah, they're pretty expensive. So I'm kind of shopping around through work for them, seeing if I can find them cheaper.
Check Rock Auto. I've been buying brake pads for my rigs through them, and sometimes they're cheaper than anywhere else, including Amazon.
Yep. Oh, and there's Rick with his orange.
Yeah, he's gonna claim them. Watch out.
Rick's gonna
take them right off your rig.
I was gonna say I want to back up to one of these pictures of Ben's where it shows his brake rotor, and it looks like only like 5% of the rotor is being used in this photo.
That's a good eye. What's going on there, Ben?
That's a good question.
Rusty.
No wonder you couldn't stop.
Now I'm really gonna have to inspect my brakes. I might be needing whole new brakes.
It actually looks like you're rubbing on part of the caliper, not actually the brakes.
Oh, we'll have to find out.
Is that what that looks like to you, Aaron?
I'm not entirely sure. I can't tell. There's not enough to tell if that's a pad or the caliper itself. So,
well, actually, if you go back a picture, the one you just had up, my my dust cut shield got actually smashed into the disc too. So
yeah, you don't need that.
Who needs that? That's probably going to come off with a spindle.
It just traps rocks, anyways.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, for Aaron,
Time for new brakes.
I drew you, Aaron. You're getting the root beer of the month because you don't drink the real beer. Root beer of the month.
I didn't
That's
realize
exciting.
they had that many root beers.
Oh, there's so many
so-
root beer.
The store Ben, I clicked on this. The store Ben picked this out from is the Root Beer Store, which used to be local to Ben and I in Puyallup. They actually had 3 of them, and they closed up shop and moved to Idaho. And
One could wonder why.
I think they only do online sales plus this Idaho store now. So
Yeah, and they've got some good ones. I mean, there's like Triple X root beer, which is what is that? That's in Issaquah.
I don't
Um,
think that's their root beer actually. I think
Triple
it's
X
just
root
somebody
beer?
else say Triple X, yeah. And
Huh.
I want to say they've got like over 120 different root beers.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a local brewery that sells Snoqualmie Falls root beer. That's
Mhm.
out of
You brought
Snoqualmie
that on
here.
the snow trip?
Yep, and that's some good root
Yeah.
beer. I mean, that tastes like the root beer candy. And I know how
And
much
we
you
had
love
with the root beer floats too. That was
Mm,
excellent.
Yep,
A lot of sugar.
with that homemade ice cream.
Yeah. Ice.
Yeah.
Well,
Rick is really concerned about your brakes, Jeremy or
Yes.
Ben.
Yeah,
I'm concerned about his brakes too. He also corrected you and said it's only 2%, which is probably more accurate.
More accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah, it's definitely time for new front brakes. So those
Uh,
are good.
and probably rotors by the look of it.
Yeah, damn it.
Cha-ching,
out Rock
cha-ching,
Auto.
cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, my wife.
Check out Rock Auto.
Just don't tell my wife right now. She's
Oh,
been
I'm
asking
posting it
me
on
how
our
much
Facebook
is
page.
actually
Yeah, we're going to our Facebook post right now. By the way, Ben needs some more parts.
by the bed.
But we just gotta make sure we tell her that we've already given you enough flack for it, so she'll lighten up off you a little bit.
Probably not. Should probably say I need it more.
Hey, she said she was mad until she realized how much flack we were going to give you for it. So
And
Oh yeah.
It
Oh
made her,
no.
it made her happy.
Well, I share some of the comments you guys say, and she's just like, "Oh, thank goodness they beat on you as bad as I want to."
well, this brings us to the next segment, which is $200 to $2,000. This is where it starts to get fun because there's a lot of room to play with.
Yeah, there is.
So my first one, here's the theme: new wheels. So I'm looking at a set of Dirty Life Dual Tech wheels. So that's the wheel that you can mount so it has a street lock version. Well, it's all the same wheel, but it comes with the street lock rim, or not rim, but beadlock ring, and you just swap out the beadlock ring, and so you can mount it either as a classic tire. So everything mounts up just the same. Every tire shop will work on them. Or you can just swap out the ring and throw it on as a beadlock.
So about that, I actually saw a Jeep truck with those. Yeah, on my way up snow wheeling, and I talked to the guy, and he said he loves his. So I'm looking if that's the wheel you actually do choose to go with. I'm looking forward to see what you think of them.
Yeah.
We really liked them.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about them. It's nice that you can just go ahead and throw it on like a normal wheel or
And
a
they're
normal
portable.
tire. And it's good if you ever, decide you're into the mall crawler life or whatever. I don't know. I like the idea of it. It's like $100 more to buy each beadlock ring. We'll see how I go with this one. I might just have a tire shop mount up my 35s. If I end up running 35s as just a non-beadlock. Just because I don't really feel like mounting up beadlocks and then 3 or 4 months later unmounting them and remounting new tires onto beadlocks. I don't know if I
Yeah, and then getting them balanced,
up to
trying
that.
to find a place to balance them.
Yeah. So I'll probably just end up mounting the 35s normally. So I do like the option. chances are once they go on my rig with the 40s, they're just going to stay as a beadlot configuration. But it's nice to always have the option.
Yeah.
The second thing on my list at $200 to $2,000 is some new 1350 drive shafts. So with the new axles, I definitely need to get different drive shafts, especially because I'm lifting up 5.5 inches as well. So it's going to change the length a lot. So I'm getting some custom length drive shafts from Adams, and yeah, can't
Not
wait.
going Woody?
I haven't decided 100% between Adams and Woody in the woods, but we'll see.
Both
Those
of
are the
them.
ones
They're
that I've
both
been looking
they're both reputable brands.
at. Yeah, and they're
It
both
shouldn't matter.
very similar in price.
And I'll say this: that I've got respect for both of those companies because I want to say it was Tom Wood's son that posted up on social media defending Adam's drive shaft
Mhm.
when someone talked crap about him
Yeah.
because they didn't help sponsor them and they were unhappy. Uh,
Some
I won't
people's kids.
mention some people.
Some people's
Um,
kids, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
I
mean,
wanted
I gotta say they're both reputable companies with great people. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about your wheels. Is there anybody that sells wheels that have the hole already for the second airport, the second what am I
I
trying to
have not
say?
found any.
Okay.
So my plan is just to go ahead and tap them. It's
I know in the
aluminum.
racing world, in the car racing world, there is.
there's
They're pretty rare, but
so I've seen personally wheels nowadays where they have two valve stems. I don't know, and actually the company that Jeremy's getting the if he gets the Dirty Life wheels, that company does do dual valve stems in some of their wheels. So they might come with a second valve stem. Granted, I think it'll be on the inside, so it won't be as functional as the
oh,
for the monster. Yeah, it's
on
some
on
weird.
the back side of the spokes.
Yeah, it was a Denali
Huh.
that we lifted, and yeah, fun stuff.
That's interesting. I've never seen
Yeah.
them put a valve stem back there, but we'll see. Super stoked about those things. And so for this one, I drew Aaron. So for Aaron, I know he can use a large ground tent. So I was looking at a Gazelle for him.
Ooh, you going for
Yeah,
the T?
I guess I've been talking with you guys about that a little bit. For those times where maybe I don't want to take a rooftop tent, like this 11-day trip through half of the West Coast, I might take a ground tent. I haven't decided. I mean, I'm only 2 days into planning us, but I haven't decided what I want to do there.
Well, I think Jeremy and I can both speak highly of Gazelle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Although,
only downside is how it doesn't fold down very far.
Yeah. Well, I
But
mean, your T3 folds up pretty small compared to like my T4. It's like 6 feet
yeah,
tall.
the T4 would have been great, but I mean, the main reason I picked the T3 is it fit in the back of the Jeep width-wise, so I could run it perpendicular
Yeah.
to the vehicle and not have
Mhm.
to throw down a seat for it.
I've been I'm still thinking about it because they're re-releasing the T3 and getting one of those because it's smaller in length.
It
Which
works great for single trips. I
Yep.
wouldn't throw a family in it, but
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
great tent for a base camp. Or I mean, even if you're going to be moving day to day, it's still a great tent. But it just gives you a little bit more space, a little bit more comfort. But definitely not as nice as the T4. Well,
But
Ben,
so for me, as we mentioned on earlier, 35s. That's on the list. I'm excited for them. I think I've chosen what I want, so that's what I think I'm gonna get. 35s here real soon. We'll see. Hopefully Santa will be nice and I'll get them real quick. And then with going to 35s, I'll have a problem of no place to mount that 35 underneath my Forerunner. Won't fit back there. So I've been looking at bumpers, and instead of welding or finding a friend and giving them beer or whatever to weld it, just buying a bumper. And I'm thinking Victory 4x4. So it's a little spendy. It does not come with a tire carrier at that price, but it's like
What?
another $400, and you can mount a tire. Yeah, it's spendy, but it's nice. Kind of one of those you get what you pay for.
Oofda. Wow.
That is a spendy
Spend-
bumper.
Well, I mean, Christmas list here. Ask for the best thing and be happy if I get, the one where I weld it together.
Oh, don't
The
weld it
inflatable
together.
one?
The inflatable.
The inflatable one.
Just I might be cutting off my tire carrier, so just find a way to weld that onto a bumper.
There we go.
Or
And then,
onto his rear hatch.
There we go. And then I drew Jeremy. And so Jeremy, I'm looking at a Poison Spider tub mounted tire carrier, because I know how you like to minimize stuff and keep stuff off your rear end.
How come that's only $1,000 and yours is like $2,000?
Who knows?
Why don't you get one of the
In
cheap
here,
ones then?
I don't know.
Well, I
Weld
mean,
a Jeep onto my Ford.
the tub mounted tire carrier is still on the back. It just mounts
Yeah.
the tub instead of the bumper. But that's definitely the one I've been looking at.
Yeah.
I technically cannot put a 40-inch tire on my tire carrier that I have. I think it's only good up to a 37.
Do you have to upgrade the hinges with that, or is that an upgraded hinge?
So it is an upgraded hinge. So you cut out, or you don't cut it out, but you end up drilling out the rivets on the hinge. So you pull the hinge off, you drill the rivets out on the hinge, and you replace the tub side. So the tailgate side is still the same hinge, but you end up putting the beefier tub mounted side. And
Jeez,
then
that's big.
and then it's got a latch plate, which is more like a latch box. They call it a latch plate, but it's like, I don't know, a 3x1 square tube, probably.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures of it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and then that gets, and then you end up bracing it on the inside of your tub as well, so it's nice and strong, can hold up to a 40-inch tire. So that's what I need to go with. Also, you can throw on like some roto packs and my high lift, which will be nice.
So it only goes up to a 40?
That is correct.
What happens when you go to 42s?
Who knows?
Yeah. Are you going to go to 42s after you go to 40s? They're not big enough. I need to go bigger.
I don't think so. And I would have to go to a Dana 80 in the rear for sure, because with that extra horsepower, like if you go technically, they actually recommend the Dana 80 for the rear when you have the V8 swap. But I just
next week, Jeremy saves up for Dana 80s.
No.
No. What's the axle list like this time, Jeremy?
No. You guys know the way I wheel. I'm a very
He's down to 27%.
Yeah, I'm not a skinny pedal wheeler. I like to be finesse, so I think I'll be able to make do with the 60s and not have a problem braking things. But if I was the type of person who was, just gonna put the skinny pedal down to the floor all the time on any obstacle, I definitely would need the 80. But yeah, it's like an extra $6,000 or something like that.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying. 27%. Well, in light of Ben's most recent trip, I think I'm due to get a Garmin InReach, especially with as many times as I've been traveling this year and my Nevada trips that pop up out of the blue. I think I need to get one of these guys. I've been looking at them for a while. My wife has been asking off and on. She asks a couple times a year if I'm interested in getting one, and I am, but I almost always go out with people. I don't know. I'm not driving a 4Runner.
So this weekend was actually one of those times I wish I had an inReach, because it would have been so easy to message someone that knew what I was talking about, exactly what I needed.
Instead of trying to talk to your wife
Well, instead of like,
through,
hey,
through your boss.
I need this part and this bolt, instead of thinking I said it was it's the bolts next to the ball joint. They brought a ball joint.
Nah.
It was an error in communication, and in hindsight,
error in communication, not an
I know
error in
it
communication.
sounded like you said an errand.
in hindsight, what I should have done is just unbolted the other bolt and given her that and said, "Bring me back another one of these."
Mhm.
Probably would have been
Yeah.
better.
But like with an inReach, after we realized we had the wrong part, I could have messaged John Matthews, who I saw earlier that day, because he was camping up there that night, and he would have been like, "Okay, I'll bring you one of those up." Might
Yeah.
cost me a beer.
If he had, did you say John Matthews?
Yeah, he drove by me that morning.
If he had brought you the
That's
parts, it wouldn't have been a trail fix. It would have just been fixed.
Yep. No, and that's the thing. Had I had the right part, it would have been just a fix, not just a trail fix. But it was 4 hours down and back, and
Yeah.
there was a storm moving in. That's when it was okay. It's time for a trail fix because we need to get me off here. Otherwise, I'm going to be up here for another day and needing sleds to come get me out. Or SAR.
Indeed.
Well, my next.
I wish SAR would have come and got you. That would have been hilarious.
Me too. I would have enjoyed it. Yeah. My next item on the list is the Titan Swap parts, and we've talked about this. In fact, it was probably on the Christmas list last year, but I let my wife know if we're going to Moab, the Titan Swap has to happen. Not necessarily the engine portion, but the suspension for sure. There's just got to be quite a few things, which includes gears front and rear. So
how'd you take it?
Well, she knew it was coming, especially since I sold the LMTV. That's going to be what funds it. So I've already got the money set aside. I'm already 100% funded for that, unlike Jeremy's axles.
You just need a shop to do it.
Hey, I'm like 100% funded for the axles now.
Yep. Are they on order?
Not yet, because I'm trying to work some stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully Black Friday will produce some good sales.
I'm hoping for a good sale. Yeah. After Black Friday, they're going to be ordered.
Nice.
Or Cyber Monday, I guess.
One of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be getting some gears front and rear, and then whatever the whole Titan Swap up front will be. At the same time, I think I'm going to change out my radiator for an aftermarket radiator so I can reconnect the trans cooler that goes through the radiator itself rather than only relying on the auxiliary cooler to cool my transmission. So hopefully that'll fix some issues that I have. And then the last thing here, I drew Ben's name on this one, and I want him to have a better winch. It's time to step it up to the Xeon 10S that I have. I think he'll like that a lot, especially with Warren's Bluetooth controller that's coming out, the hub, so you can control your hubs.
Oh, I said I got the hub last week, right?
Yeah.
Yep. No, I know you got it, especially with that thing. It's gonna be.
I used the hub with my winch this weekend a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It worked amazing.
Really,
really happy how well.
I know you got to. I know you got to test it, so I knew you'd like that. And then it's just one more thing we can rub in Jeremy's face because he doesn't get to use a hub.
I kind of like my Platinum better than the 10S with the hub, personally.
Yeah, but you can't control it from your cell phone.
Yeah, but I got a wireless controller.
That you lose.
Battery can die in.
That I lost once, yeah. That's the only downside.
There we go. I lose my phone.
There it is.
There it is.
I need to contact Andy and just pick up an extra remote and just throw it in my toolbox in case.
All right, it's unlimited time, and probably our favorite time of the year, right?
Is that where we get a back seat?
Nope, that's where we get
with 4 doors, I guess.
Yeah,
that's
the 4
a
doors.
joke right there. This is where there is no limit. it can be as expensive as the sky goes. And I decided that as much as I love my 4Runner, a fully loaded Bronco would be really awesome.
Yes.
That would be really awesome.
And then follow that up with a Snowcat
Is that so you can get your broken 4Runner out?
and my broken Bronco, because we know it don't matter. I'll break whatever. Aaron, you like that, Aaron?
Oh man, yep, I did. Actually, Snowcats. I've been seeing some for sale. I saw. Actually, I was talking to Coy about it. So because Coy, yeah, I think Coy, because he's part of the search and rescue in his area, he has access to some government sales stuff, and he was looking at a Snowcat for $3,000. I'm like, dude, we should
What?
split it.
A Snowcat for $3,000? That's nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Is this
And
like
it's
the
small enough.
timeshare?
It's small enough that it fits on a trailer. So
Oh God, why
So-
did he pass that one up?
Can we put some timeshare in on this?
we should. I mean,
I might be
unfortunately,
like
you can
Jeremy's
only
feet.
use it.
Somebody spot me and I'll buy you out in a year.
There you go. We can just float it around.
That's awesome.
I'm sure my wife would love that as much as my LMTV.
Just don't keep it at your house. Keep it at Coy's.
Yeah, Coy's wife won't mind. They're not. It's not like your wives are friends or anything. Well, Jeremy, I mean Aaron, I drew you, and I know how much you love your tent, your CVT tent. So they have this newer tent. It's called the Mount Fury. It's a medium. I think it's smaller than your tent currently.
Actually, so the
Or
Mount
is it just a
Fury
hard
is it is a hard shell, but they make 3 sizes of it. This the one that I got to preview when I was popped through CVT a couple weeks ago. And the largest version is the same size as mine, I think.
Jeez.
Right now, it may look like they only have the medium in stock.
Correct. Yeah.
Still, I mean, it's awesome. I love that it's a red orange. It's a medium. The shell's a black, so it's not like some terrible color up top. And then,
And it folds out.
yeah,
It has that platform that folds out. That's the super
So-
cool part.
it's like my tent, how big my tent is, but when it packs up, it's even smaller. Instead of looking
Yeah.
like you have a top hat on the top.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ben. I would love to replace my rooftop tent with something that's faster to set up.
Yep.
Well, for me, for the unlimited class is a shop. I wrote down 30 by 60. I want to build a 30 by 40, but if I've got unlimited money, I'm going to build a bigger shop. Plus a mezzanine, extra garage doors, whatever, the whole kit and caboodle. I just love to have shop space I can actually work on stuff. In fact, my tools, this actually is like a stab in the heart here. My tools are rusting out in the shop that I keep them in because it's not paved all the way in there, and like condensation comes up through the ground and it's collecting on the tools. And I opened my drawer of wrenches the other day and they all had sweat condensation on them. So
You need like
Yeah.
a dehumidifier pack in there for them.
something.
Get some silica gel packs and just start throwing them in there.
I'd have to change them out like weekly.
Yeah.
So
Oh, well, it's better than rusty tools.
yeah,
Or
it's really
you need to
frustrating.
start getting some weatherproof toolboxes and throw silica in there.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's super frustrating. So yeah, I'd love to have I'm planning on building a shop. I'm struggling getting people to return my calls or people that want to do it for a reasonable price. So we'll see what
Shop
happens
building is
there.
crazy right now.
I was wanting to get the shop built before I start the Titan swap, but I might just have to start Titan swapping without it. So we'll see how that goes. Next thing on the list, drum roll please. 2021 Ram Power Wagon 75th anniversary edition.
There
You
we
guys
go.
didn't see that coming at all, did you?
Where'd you come
No.
up with that one?
Yeah, that'd make a great tow rig. And then
would
when
be great
something
tow rig.
breaks, you drive out and tow your rig out.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
totally capable. That would probably be a fun one to take out to Moab.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, where the size isn't going to hamper you too much. You're
Yep,
not trying to weave
there's-
in and out of trees.
Correct. Well, and I drew Jeremy on this one, and I want Jeremy has talked about getting a camp trailer, a off-road camp trailer, not like a house trailer. And
Yeah.
I really like this brand, the Off Grid brand. I believe. Why can't I think of his
Nathan?
name? Thank you. Nathan has this brand, and I'm really impressed with it. It is a sweet trailer.
I'm currently
Yeah.
building one out because I started looking into it. I was so excited about this present.
Yeah, you're gonna have
Yeah.
to save up
It
twice
is
what your axles cost you.
expensive.
Well, yeah,
That's
'cause
why
I
it's in the
wanna-
unlimited range.
I
Yeah.
want to say Nathan's was like 30K, and that's not with all the stuff he added afterwards.
So mine is currently at 35 and a half.
There you go.
Yeah. And you can put tons of options on these bad boys. The only thing that I didn't like about it is I think that the inside, I don't even think you can get a queen size bed in them. So that's
That's,
a little bit of a
mean,
downer.
if you want to be weird in English and not sleep with your wife, yeah, you need the biggest bed ever.
Yeah, not
Well-
having a queen size would be rough.
Sometimes you don't like being touched in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, when they put their arm on you or something.
I'm used to it.
I don't know. Yeah, you are. You like to sleep in children's beds. With your wife, not with children. But yeah.
Thank you for saving me from that one.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's his
don't
own
belong
children,
to
it's
the
not that
church.
big of a deal.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I'm the last one here, so I get to get the last of the presents. So I am also, again, definitely themed around what I'm currently wanting for my rig. So I'm looking at a PSC Big Bore XD hydraulic steering with hydraulic steering assist. So that's the new steering box, the new pretty much everything steering related is getting replaced. The power steering pump, the reservoir, it adds a cooler, and then obviously the ram down at the axle. So that's like $2,500. I didn't go too crazy with the unlimited, but yeah. So I'm looking at that. Love it. Hope it doesn't take too long to save up for it, or I actually hope Santa brings it. We'll see.
Yes.
Santa said no.
You don't know.
Mrs. Claus said no, not Santa.
Yeah, more like it. And then finally, a metal cloak lift. So I'm looking at a 5.5-inch lift. I'd love to go with the lock and load long arm. I'm just not sure about the install. So since this is the unlimited section, I'm want the lock and load with 6-pack shocks and a shop to install it. So that's going to run at least $5,100 plus the install, which is probably going to be another $3,000 or $2,000 or $3,000. I don't know.
I'm
Who knows?
trying to look at the install time. I don't see it.
You'd have
Installation 15 to 18 hours. So you're looking at a cheap end on a shop is like $100 an hour. So there's
do 150 for
So you're like $2,500 install.
yeah,
yeah.
pretty much.
Oof.
So I'm probably going to go with the Game Changer. I may switch out for a long arm kit later on, but I need to
So
learn.
I'm looking at their long arms. It looks like their long arm kit's not a weld kit. It's just a
It's a weld.
relocation bracket. It's a weld kit.
No, so their mid arm kit is a relocation bracket.
Mm.
The lock and load long arm or the 4-link kits are both weld on.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So I'm looking at the mid-arm game changer. That's probably what I'm going to end up going with. But man, I would love that lock and load suspension. I just do not have the money to pay somebody to do it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I don't want to rely on people to come over and weld for me.
for pizza.
Yeah.
And beer.
Then if it bends any indication, it won't be done for a year from now. Are your skid plates done?
I'm not even gonna go there.
That's why you don't get a weld together kit when you don't weld and have
Yep.
a good welder. And last but not least, this is probably
this is the cherry on top for
this
this
is
whole
the
episode.
cherry on top. So for Ben, I drew Ben. For him, he's going to get a lifetime Super Gold Platinum extra bonus AAA membership with helicopter rescue for people and vehicles. Because that's
I
what Ben
believe I've
needs.
seen a meme, or maybe it's just a fake picture of a helicopter carrying like a Jeep with a trailer, or maybe it's a Land Rover.
We shared that on our Facebook page last week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, that's what I need.
that is
That's
what Ben
pretty
needs.
I could have used a helicopter crew this weekend. It would have been nice.
Well,
Yeah.
would have been
Okay, I'm
something,
done
huh?
camping. Go ahead and pick me up, guys.
Yeah, you just drive till your rig breaks and then you have them airlift you home when you're done.
All right, guys, drop it off at the
that's-
shop. I gotta fix this later.
That's
Not
not a
tonight.
bad. Yeah, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
No,
Just
I wonder
reel
how
it
many
as hard as you
helicopter
want,
rescues
and they
that
just
gets a
come pick
year.
it up.
How many helicopter rescues a year do I get?
But it's
Uh,
unlimited, so I
yeah.
think you get them
Okay.
all.
so
I-
that's exactly what you need.
I might as well get
Yeah.
a Land Rover then.
Or no, you're good enough with your with that. I think a Land Rover would actually be more reliable in this case.
Ouch.
Well, that's the end of our list. Just wanted to put the call out there. If you guys think we missed something, or just want to share with us what's on your Christmas list, go ahead and hit us up at offroadpodcast@gmail.com, or through our Facebook, or through our YouTube, or on Instagram. Any other platforms I'm missing?
Twitch.
Good enough. Twitch. Yeah, you throw it on Twitch. We'll see it there too. We also just wanted to thank everybody who came to listen today and listens to us weekly, all the people that listen live, and then also the people that are listening on the recorded podcast later. We really appreciate you guys. You guys are the reason that we do this show. It's not so much for us. I mean, it's fun to get together with these two guys every single week and just kind of BS for a while, but you guys are really why we're doing the show, why we come back week after week. Make sure that you guys are sharing us with your friends. Help us grow. I mean, that is the best way that we grow, is by somebody sharing the show with their friends. And usually there's always a Facebook post that goes out when the new episode goes live. So just make sure you share that link and share the live episodes as well. Anything you guys do that helps us out a lot.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren and Power Tank to see all of their great gear. We are a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a question or comment? Send it to us through our webpage at firearmsradio.tv or through our social media channels by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com, Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, be safe and courteous, and thanks for listening.
All right, we good.